DreAllDay.com.
What up, everybody? Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. People sometimes ask me, how do I use video? How do I utilize video as far as studying the game, getting better, and for working on my own game, and how can you do it for yourself? This is what I do. There's a concept called mirror neurons, and they actually, I don't know how this was found out, but the way I learned about it was I was reading a book and they were talking about monkeys. That monkeys, y'all ever heard the phrase monkey see, monkey do? Y'all have heard of that before, right? That actually came from a study that some scientists had did where they were watching, they would have a monkey observe another monkey doing some task, like climbing a ladder or opening up a box or peeling a banana or something like that. And then the monkey that was watching, even though they had never done this activity before, the activity that they just watched the other monkey do, that monkey who was observing could start doing it because they were watching someone else do it. So they were able to, in their mind, they were able to mirror what they saw the other person doing. So neurons are just the things, I don't know how to describe it, like the particles in your brain inside of you that actually think. The parts of your brain actually think and they connect and they start firing off, and that's how thought happens. So anyway, mirror neurons are basically when you're able to watch somebody else do something, and even though you never did it, just watching them do it, you have a good idea of how you can do it. So how does that work with video? With me personally, I don't really study video. I don't go and grab a video and just study it and rewind it and watch it over and over and over again. Unless there's only cases that if I'm watching a video, let's say I'm watching a Dwayne Wade highlight video and he does some move that I don't do, or a move I've never done or I don't think I've ever done, I say, oh, I could use something like that. Let me watch that again, see how he did it. And then I might think to myself, you know what, I'm going to use that. Next time I go to the gym and work on my game, I'm going to work on a couple moves with that, using that technique, and I can add that to my game. Now, that's one thing that I do as far as watching video. The other thing is this. Mirror neurons basically let your brain, if you watching somebody else do something, it'll mirror not only their actual physical movements, but you can also mirror somebody's energy. So for example, if you about to work out and you want to play, like, let's say you want to model your game, because players come to me and they say, I want to model my game after Russell Westbrook or LeBron James or Stephen Curry or Kyrie Irving. If right before you work out or right before you playing your game, you go on YouTube and you watch a video, or you got it on your phone or whatever, you watch a video of Stephen Curry or Kyrie Irving or Russell Westbrook, right before you get on the court, your brain's going to start firing off those mirror neurons, because what you just saw, that's the thing that your brain's going to work with. So if any of you don't know about that, like before you go to sleep at night, I don't know if any of you have ever heard someone say the first 10 minutes or the first 45 minutes, people use different numbers, 30 minutes. First, let's say 10 minutes. First 10 minutes after you wake up and the last 10 minutes before you go to bed are crucially important to your development as a person, because the first 10 minutes when you wake up in the morning, the things that you experience in your first 10 minutes, the feelings you're having, the thoughts that go through your mind, whatever it is you're exposing yourself to, they set the tone for your entire day. So if you wake up and the first thing you do is start reading emails and there's a bunch of negative stuff and all the stuff you got to do, and you start building your to-do list as soon as you wake up, you're basically setting your day up to be just like that. So if you wake up in the first 10 minutes, you listen to some music that uplifts you, or something that makes you feel good, or something that gives you positive vibes, or you wake up and you talking to your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your wife or your husband or your kids or your dog, and that makes you feel good, it sets your day with positive vibes. So it's the same thing before you go to bed. Dave said, I heard Jack Canfield, the guy who wrote the Chicken Soup for the Soul books, he said, you know, that's why it's a good thing for couples to make love before they go to bed. Because what does it do? It creates that energy of love, that connection between those two people right before they go to bed. And that's the thing that your brain subconsciously works on. Because the last thing you feed your brain before you go to sleep, your brain is marinating on whatever that was, that last 10 minutes, the entire time you're sleeping. So imagine you spend 10 minutes working on something, and then for 8 hours, your brain is subconsciously working on it. So guess what? If you're in school and you cram for a test, you studying for a test for the last hour before you go to bed, it works, right? And then you in school and you have it crammed and you only studied the night before a test, but then you actually do well, it works. Because the thing that you were focusing on for that last 10 minutes, 60 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever, your brain is working on that the entire time. So think about that. If last night or the night before there was something you was doing right up until you went to sleep, you might have even subconsciously you might remember it a little bit. You might have actually been dreaming about it or thinking about that thing while you were sleeping, whatever it was you was doing, whether you was watching a basketball game, you was reading a book, you was having a conversation on the phone, you was watching something on TV, you were writing something, you were reading something on the internet, whatever it was, your brain works on that. What does it have to do with basketball? Those mirror neurons. Your brain is going to work on whatever you just gave it. So if you're about to get on a basketball court, the last thing you saw basketball-wise and the last thing you saw basketball-wise was right before that. You were watching a Russell Westbrook video where he's playing really aggressively and explosively and driving to the rim really hard and finishing strong with authority. You're going to play like that. Doesn't mean you're going to jump as high as Russell or make shots the way Russell does, but you're going to have that mentality. And whatever energy you're feeling from watching him, you're going to mirror that energy as best as you can, based on what you're capable of course. But that's how you're able to use video. So you don't have to spend hours and hours studying video. You can use that mirror effect. So when you first wake up in the morning, let's say you want to, players come to me and they be like, yo, Dre, I got 3 months to get my game like Kyrie Irving so I could try out for the basketball team. So this is what you do. When you wake up in the morning, watch 10 minutes of Kyrie Irving basketball videos. And before you go to sleep, watch 10 minutes of Kyrie Irving. And before you get on the court for practice or for your game or whatever you're doing, watch 10 minutes of Kyrie Irving YouTube videos. And I guarantee you those mirror neurons will actually start working now. You actually got to do the work now. Now, don't think this is a get-rich-quick scheme for your game. You still got to do the work. But watching those videos will actually make your brain, it'll set your brain into motion to start playing like that guy. And the energy you feel from watching that stuff, you'll start to recreate that energy. It's the same way if you listen to certain types of music, you'll start to behave like the energy of the music, whatever the music makes you feel. Now, just because somebody says certain things in a song don't mean you had to do that. It's how it makes you feel. We could both listen to the same song and get two different feelings from it. So it's the same thing with the video. So if watching a Michael Jordan video bores you, then it's not going to work for you. So you got to find what activates you. So watching Michael Jordan makes you start playing like Mike, makes you start having that mentality like Mike, and it starts helping your game, then it will actually work. So that's how you can use video to make your game better with those mirror neurons. And as far as the mental game goes, I'm going to start doing this more often. But I wrote these books. If y'all don't know about the books that I wrote, they're on Amazon you can just go to dreallday.com/Amazon. This is called the Mental Handbook, where I talk about the mental side of the game. Another thing about these books, I am definitely plugging this book and promoting it because, I mean, it's my video. Of course, I'm going to promote my own stuff. You ain't got to buy these, but if you want to, you can watch all these videos on YouTube for free. I ain't charging you for it, but I have books. Mental Handbook is dreallday.com/Mental Handbook, or just go to Amazon and search my name, where I talk about the mental side of the game. One of the quotes that I use here on the back of the book, the mental is to the physical as 3 is to 1 by Napoleon Bonaparte, where he talks about that. The reason I actually wrote this book is because when I had the hoop handbooks, a player came to me in the comments on YouTube one day. He said, Dre, you got all these hoop handbooks for helping on your game. Why don't you make a mental handbook for helping the mental game? And I said, you know what? You're absolutely right. And that's when I wrote the Mental Handbook. This was actually my second book after I wrote Buy a Game, which you can read for free on dreallday.com. So you ain't got to buy that. So it's called Buy a Game, but you can read it for free. So anyway, the Mental Handbook is available on Amazon, dreallday.com/Mental Handbook. I got 5 other books that's available, 4 other books that's available on that site, and also 100+ hoop handbook programs. So that's how you can use mirror neurons. Work on your game, dreallday.com.
Thanks for checking out this video. Make sure you follow all my top content up here. Follow me on all your favorite social networks right over here. And make sure you are subscribed to catch all the new content I put on this channel every single day. Work on your game.